state your name and date of birth for the record? What's up, Matthew?
What's going on?
Why did you come here, Matthew? What are you doing here?
At first I didn't know, but coming here was one of the most profound decisions that I've ever made. I found things that I didn't know that I needed. A lot of clarity, a lot of healing. Trying to find myself again. And that happened from day one. Like picking us up at the airport or at the hotel. I immediately, the group of people before we even met others that were here or coming after, I immediately felt held. I felt safe. And then getting here and meeting the rest of the group, I felt even more held, you know. I've said this, I think, many times throughout the week. I found a community that I didn't even know I was looking for or needed, and it's a great community, small but great.
It's a very special group of people here this week. Without getting into any of the specifics, or like sharing as much as you want to on this, talk to me about your experience, maybe first like in the Temescal and then in the breathwork, kind of how that progressed.
Yeah, so I was really nervous about the Temescal because I didn't know what it was, and I didn't want to Google it to find out what it was.
That's probably good.
Because I didn't want to have expectations. I wanted to be able to go into it and just experience it for what it was. And initially seeing the space and then looking around with the amount of people that we had, but we all fit in there. It was like a perfect jigsaw puzzle that just kind of came together. And the first round, I was like, this is nice. And started to get warm, started to get hot, and then it wasn't until the second round that I started crying, and I didn't know I was crying at first. And I felt a hand on my shoulder from the person next to me, and that just let me know that I was safe. I was okay to let it out and cry, and then finally figure out what I was crying about. I enjoyed it. It brought a lot to light, even though we were in complete darkness, right? And I felt like I started to heal, like the wounds that I have. They're closed, but they started to open to let that healing in. The breath works is kind of where it all came full circle, I guess, for me. Just like you and Cordy had said at the beginning, you might be laying there and being, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm just breathing really fast. Nothing's happening. And that went through my mind. And but then all of a sudden I felt like I left my body. And I was looking at myself from above. And the dark shadows that I've been running from for the past 29 years, the shadow came in front of me, and I seen the shadow. And so the shadow let me know that it was okay. And I think that's when I finally just figured out that it was okay, and I could I could talk about it, right? Still afraid to talk about it. One of the other guys here, made an analogy. You're carrying around this backpack full of rocks. But for me, yeah, there are some small rocks in there that they're really not significant. I mean, they hold little bits of trauma. But there was a boulder that was in there that I've been carrying around for 29 years. And, at one of the sharing sessions right before dinner, I got to, I didn't know if I was going to share. The words have never crossed my lips in 29 years. But I figured for me to be able to heal from it, I need to speak it. And so I spoke it, and as soon as the words started coming out, the crying, the tears, it all came, but it also came with like this feeling of release. The tension went away, and I feel like the rock, that boulder got smashed, and everybody in there took a piece of it to help me burden the weight. And I'll always carry a small piece of that boulder with me, just for the memories, of things that happened. So, but I feel a lot lighter.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Like, what do you think will be different, or what do you want to be different as you go home from here? You feel lighter, and maybe there's less of that dark cloud over you.
I came here with a lot of rage and anger, and there hasn't been one time in the past 7 days that I've felt rage or I felt anger. I touched base with my family back home. My son was in trouble for doing something, and when he got on the video with me, he started tearing up, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said he was afraid that I was gonna yell and be mad at him. And I talked to him just like I'm talking to you right now, and I told him it's okay. We make mistakes and we move forward. Any other time I would have just drilled into him, and that's my rage and fear shouldn't be pushed upon my children or my husband. And I think when I leave the jungle, I'll still get angry at times at things, but I know that the rage and fear that I came here with is going to stay here.
Matthew, before we wrap up, just any other thoughts that you want to share? Either highlights of the week that come to mind, or maybe, if you can think off the top of your head of like somebody back home who's like, man, you fucking need this experience, but they're probably scared or hesitant to come do it. Like, what would you say to somebody like that?
Yeah,